Powered by Riverside FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Choey and Jandler's the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey. All right, I want to welcome everybody to Choey and Jandler's the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week, for us to get our episode out there. Still yet another one of our summer reruns, but, a lot of good, cool stuff cooking. So let's right now go ahead and start off with today's holidays.
Here are today's effing holidays.
This is our July 5th episode. July 5th is National Workaholics Day, if you didn't know. So today reminds us to find a good balance between our home and work life. So basically, don't be someone who just works nonstop. Find time to breathe and take a little relaxation. July 5th is also National Hawaii Day. So this is a shout out to my boy, quote unquote, White Gandalf. He knows what I'm talking about. We just call him Gandalf. He's just being silly. Hawaii is proud of both its island and traditions and its U.S. member state status. So today, celebrate National Hawaii Day. And also just for silly people that like to type a lot and change the fonts whenever they're making documents or things like that, July 5th is also Comic Sans Day. Love it or hate it, we have all the tips and information on this controversial typeface. I personally like Comic Sans because it kind of looks like a comic book. So that's just me. And here is the weather for us, folks here in San Antonio. The high will be 98 today, and it's going to feel a lot warmer than that. Here is the PG version of the WTF weather app. It says you might want to skip the makeup today. That poop is going to melt right off. All right. Actually, that's the PG-13 version. I'm sorry. It's 93 degrees, but it feels like 99 out there. And also the PG version of the WTF weather app just clearly suggests that we should totally cook some bacon on the hood of your car. What could possibly go wrong after all, right? So basically, it's just a hot one out there. So yeah, that is it. Leading into our rerun episode here, one of our summer rerun episodes. And don't worry, like I said, we'll be back for more summer content here, our quote unquote summer school coming around the corner. Because I still have a nice, birthday set of game shows on Joking with Jans just for Choey. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Choey and Jandler's the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Jandler.
Welcome, Choey.
Oh, I need this today. I need this.
Yeah, same here, man. That's when I feel bad. Is like when you feel like, oh, I need this. Like, oh, but you know how it is.
Just take the edge off. Take the edge off a little bit.
Well, this is our April 12th episode, sir. So I'll start with some holidays. Did you know April 12th is Desk Fast Day? This means you celebrating Deckfast Day can be fun and delicious too. So basically, you eat breakfast from your desk, right, as you work.
Okay. I was like, what the heck is that? But
Yeah,
I got you.
like
I see what
just
you're
eating at your desk. I do desk lunch all the time, man. Eat lunch and watch YouTube and sports or SNL clips, things like that. April 12th is also National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. National Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day on April 12th celebrated the incredible combination of crispy bread and melted cheese. Yeah. Every time, like every food combination that was ever invented, I'm always like, what was the first person thinking? You know what I mean? Like I always think of like syrup. Syrup comes from a tree. I wonder which person was like, you know what? That stuff that's on that tree, I'm gonna scrape that and put it on my food. There wasn't someone that was like, you think that's safe? They just did it, right?
I have those thoughts all. See what that shit is. Oh, almost finished that whole word off. My honest thought with that
Yeah.
is like, was it like a trial and error thing? Like they're like, well, those berries look really good, and then like some dude eats them and
Dies.
somebody dies the next day, and then they're like, what did he eat? I had this, I had that, I had that. He ate the berries. I didn't eat the berries. I had a few and I got sick. Okay, so you can have a few and not die, but if you have a lot like Pete did, dead.
Yeah.
And then like the comedy, like how much food do you waste? Like you take like a cookie. I'll make like
Yeah.
homemade chocolate chip cookies and stuff like that at the house, right?
Yeah.
How many batches do people like go through and waste where they're like I need more sugar because this one tastes horrible, or oh this one. I don't know. There's just like all sorts of stuff where I'm like,
Maybe they don't waste. Maybe they're like Newman on Seinfeld. They're like when they were collecting bottles, they're like, drink up, drink up. They're just like, eat it. Someone's got to eat it all. We're not gonna throw this away, you
yeah,
know.
but like you just see something, especially like I think too, because I like to watch like those little cooking shows every once in a while, like on the Food Network, and they go through these little recipes. They're like, oh, this is how you do this, and first you do this and this, you add this and that, this. Like, I guarantee you, somebody was just like, you know, it would be great. They're like, what? Besides eating like these raw things off the ground and eating this animal not cooked, what if we combined this and did this and did that? Like, there's a process. like how did you get from A to B?
True that, man. It's true that. I mean, I don't know. That's all. Like I said, it always. So it's not just me that it always crosses my mind where I'm like, damn, you know. Just so you know, also April 12th is Big Wind Day, not Break Wind Day, by the way. It's Get Blown Away with some interesting facts about Big Wind Day. I was pausing there just for dramatic effect for you, sir.
So that was, I mean, you had me blown away.
Yeah. And then I probably have to add this song in, but let's see if you can hear it. Because I want to talk about April 9th. Can you hear this? Can you hear taps, Choey?
Yeah.
All right. So April 9th is what I'm calling Pencil Tuesday. And the reason I say that is, dude, I don't know what these kids did, but I sharpened 20 plus pencils. Some people like in one day, I feel like kids just kept losing it or eating it or whatever, right? Now I laugh at them when they say this, but I'm always like, "Hey, what happened to your pencil? I just gave you one." They're like, "Someone." There's always people keep saying, "Well, somebody stole it," and I'm like, you know, I just kind of laugh or like, "What? Whatever." I was like, "You know, you lost it." But what if there is somebody that's going around stealing all their pencils? You know, then I feel like the biggest jerk. But
there's like one kid who like thing whenever and you're like, all right, here's another pencil, and so he goes home at the end of the day, opens the box underneath his bed, and like throws another pencil and
pretty much, man. But I mean, it's something. I think on Tuesday there was at least one or two kids I had to give 3 different pencils to, and I was just like, you know, pencils aren't expensive, but when you go through like a box almost in one day, you're just like, man, you know, it adds up. And either way, I think these kids need to take care of this stuff one way or another. You know, like we did and we're gonna talk about it here a little bit. We did the eclipse, right? And so we had given them some glow sticks, right? Well, kids were like, they put their glow stick on their desk and they come back and they walk away and they do whatever and they come back like they're like, Mr. Bing, somebody stole my glue stick or my glow stick, not glue stick, my glow stick. And I'm like, did you leave it on your desk? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, you know what? I don't agree that someone should be taking and stealing from you, but I was like, if you left it and walked away, kind of got to blame yourself too. You know what I mean? It's like, should have kept it with you, man. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, it does suck to be you. Hey, some more kid stories that I don't think I ever got to share with you. This happened during our little extended spring break. One of my students, apparently, and we talked last time about how rambunctious my group is or whatever, but a kid pulled the fire alarm, right? And luckily, there's like a little waiting period, I guess, before it like contacts the fire department.
Yeah.
And you're hearing like the sound, and I didn't know what it was. Luckily, the custodian did, because we got like the it's like that plastic container, and I guess you can bump it up or whatever, up or down.
Yeah.
and that kind of knocks it off. And there's like a little warning, but like we were seconds away from getting called for no reason. So, and then that kid's explanation was just like, I don't know what I did, and it was just one of my many handfuls, I had to deal with. But
So somebody stole it. You're like, that doesn't even make sense. No, yeah, dude, that can be like they can get like a misdemeanor or like a felony or something like that. Not granted, like they're too young, maybe not, but
yeah. Hey, but speaking of, you talk about the crazy stories. So here's one that happened today. One student in another class said that my student called him a name, right? I talked to my student. He's like, he called me a name first. I called him name back, right? So I'm talking. So like student 1, student 2. Student 1 is not mine. Student 2 is. And I'm talking to them. I was like, okay, so let me read. So I let them talk one at a time. Then I repeat. I was like, so student 1, this is what you said. You said you did absolutely nothing, and he just called you names for no reason. The student's like, yep. So then I go to student 2, which is my student. And I was like, so you said he said something to you. You said something back. And he's like, yep. And I'm like, which one of these stories sounds more reasonable? And student 1 was like, my story. And I was like, really? Because you're making it sound like you did absolutely nothing, and he just started messing with you. I know this kid. He's not perfect, but he doesn't just bother people for no reason. Normally people go back and forth at him. He'll go back with him. But it was just like, the kid was just like, I didn't do anything. And I was like, yeah, okay. And we went over and talked to his teacher, and the teacher later was like, yeah, he doesn't really tell the truth, And I was like, I kind of figured that,
Yeah, he's alive. That's what he does.
Yeah. Okay, so I tell you, like, I try and like write down notes as quick as I can when something pops in my head. I don't really remember exactly. I just put slap fest with my kids, and I think what I meant. But I got a lot of kids that just like they hit one will hit one, and the other one it's just like back and forth. You know what I mean? It's like one starts it and they just keep going, and you're just like stop. This group, man, I've had some dandies, some doozies in my years there, but like this is probably the worst makeup. Because I got 4 or 5 kids that just won't leave each other alone. And they're all probably, sorry, man, allergies. But they're probably all like ADD. And so it's like, I can't, when I'm talking to one to get them to stop, then the other one keeps yelling at them or, throwing the L sign up with their finger and thumb, which upsets the first one. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, somebody needs to stop.
Like, you're all losers. You're all losers.
Yeah. And then here's a story for you. The early part of the year, right? So just after New Year's, I think, when we came back from the winter break, a student in first grade, because a lot of the kids know me, even in other grades. I think a lot of it is because like I've been there a while, but I may have like their brother and sister. And so one of my teacher friends in first grade, her student had a birthday, and he had extra cupcakes, and she's like, "You want to go give Mr. Bing a cupcake?" And he's like, yeah. And so he goes and knocks on the door. I'm teaching. A kid opens the door and just, I don't see what's going on, and then closes it. And then that's all I saw it happen. And then at the end of the school day, that teacher was like, hey, did you get a cupcake from so-and-so? And I was like, that's what that knock was? And she's like, yeah. She's like, what happened? I was like, whatever happened is that somebody opened the door. He handed him a cupcake. And the kid just ate it. And I was like, that son of a stole my cupcake. The first grade just hands the cupcake, and the second grade just takes it and eats it. And I was just like, what?
And then like, what's wrong with the kid that took the cupcake? Like,
that's what I was talking to him later. But I was like, what? Someone just hands you something, and you're just like, okay. You have no idea what it is. You just ate it.
What did he say? Was he just like, I don't know?
Again, it was just like he handed me a cupcake, so I ate it, and I was like, I guess the first grader was really quiet. She kind of just handed him a cupcake, but I'm like, dude, check on it. Like, you have no idea what you just put in your mouth. It's like.
That kid probably went home and was like, Mom, Dad, great day today. Let me tell you about it.
Best day ever.
Some kid gave me a cupcake. And they're like, for what? I don't know. I don't even know who he was.
Random cupcakes just being handed out. And I'm like,
just opened the door and there was a kid handing me a cupcake. So I ate it.
Kids, man. Hey, you got any clip stories? You guys were in school, right?
Yeah, it was. It wouldn't. I mean, I didn't do a whole lot. Like I was in my office most of the day. It was kind of funny though because they'd in the parking lot like where I usually park. They had said,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna keep that open because the elementary is gonna do a like a picnic party for like all the parents before they come do it with the kids. There wasn't a lot of people that showed up, so like the parking lot was over halfway empty. But they were like, nobody parking there because we're gonna keep it open for all the parents that we're expecting. And so in the morning, I was like, whatever. I'm gonna park here. I'm not walking all this extra way just because y'all think all these people are gonna show up. They're not. So I parked there, and I go home for lunch, and I come back like right at like it's like T minus like a minute and a half until it's gonna happen, right? And I pull into the parking lot, and there's more cars there, but there's not. It's not even halfway. And most of the people that are in my office building are like outside. And they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you coming and parking here? You're not supposed to park here." And I'm like, I didn't read that email. And I was thinking, by the way, the parking lot's open, and I'm a parent of an elementary kid, so I'm good.
Dr. Triviani rolls where he wants to. Did you guys have a lot of cloud coverage?
Yeah, we had like bits and pieces, like small fractions of a spot where like there'd be a gap where you could actually see some of it, but it wasn't even like where you could see it. So
I had a lot of kids that were upset. They're like, "Man, this sucks," and I was just like, "Sorry, guys, we got clouds." But one of the STEM teacher had sent us like a link from NASA, and so we went back in. I was just watching. I watched. We saw it in Kerrville, we saw it in Dallas, and like it was like Arkansas, Illinois, Indianapolis, New York, or Cleveland, New York. So I just kept seeing it there. Like there was some, like the one in Illinois was like perfect. Kerrville wasn't bad either. Dallas was good too. Like I forget. One of them was cloudy. I think after New York, they were like around Niagara Falls. One of those was kind of cloudy. But some of them were perfect. And we're like, oh, that's what it was supposed to look like. We got dark, but we didn't get like black. You know what I mean? But like I texted you, I was like, so I had student A and student B. So we're doing a math. We were measuring with centimeters, right? I think we're measuring with centimeter cubes. And I'm walking around, and they're doing like in groups, and I see one kid on the floor, and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I thought he was just laying down. He picks his head up, and there's blood on the ground, right? And so then, like, this kid gets a lot of nosebleeds. So I was just like, hey, man, go take care of your nose right now. Go lean back and tissue. And I was like, what happened? And then, like, student A is like, I didn't do anything. And that's like, I just asked, what happened? He's like, I didn't do anything. And then I asked the other kids in the group, I was like, what happened? And they're like, well, he headbutted him. One kid said he headbutted him. Then I asked the other kid. They're like, yeah, he headbutted him. So then I asked the kid, student B, whose nose was bleeding. I was like, I got him a nurse pass. And I was like, hey, what happened? He's like, student A headbutted me. And I was like, did he do it on accident or did he do it on purpose? And he's like, he did it on purpose. So I sent him to the nurse, called my AP, and I was just like, well, actually, before that, I called student A over, and I was like, tell me your side, because I got 3 people saying you headbutted him. He's like, I didn't touch him. And I was like, well, why is his nose bleeding? I was like, I don't know. I didn't do anything. And I was like, they're saying you headbutted him. He's like, I didn't do that. What's headbutt mean? I was like, you hit him with your head. He's like, I didn't do that. Right? He's like, he talked about putting him in a headlock, and I was like, well, he's bleeding, So I think he did more than that. Called my AP, explained everything that I knew and what I saw and what 3 kids had said and how one of them was in the nurse's office. And so she's like, just send them up to me. He ended up spending ISS, or the rest of the day in ISS and then the next day. But I talked to the AP later, and like he talked to his. She's like, I'm talking to him. He's telling me he didn't do anything, and I'm like, well, why is he bleeding? And she's like, I put him in a headlock, and that still didn't explain why he's bleeding. And then finally, he did the same thing with her. He's like, what's headbutt mean? And she's like, you hit him with your head to his nose. And then he's like, no, I didn't do that. I hit him with my head. And she's like, yeah. She's like, that's what I thought. So I don't know. Like I get to talk with mom on Monday because kids are struggling in a lot of areas, so we get to kind of express stuff. But I was just like I texted you. I was like, when I wrote him up, he's like, what did I do? And I was like, what do you mean, what'd you do? Like when I got off the phone with my AP that morning before I sent him up, he was hiding in the corner, and I was like, hey man, Miss So and So wants to talk to you, and he's like hiding in the corner, like I'm not gonna go find him. And then he's just like, what'd I do? And I'm just like, what do you mean, what'd you do? Like he's bleeding, sir. I was like, that's not cool.
What I do, like, tell you what, just don't worry about it. Just go sit in the corner somewhere. It's quieter if you're there.
Oh yeah, you know how it is. But all right, we're gonna go to our quick break unless you want you have something to add.
No, not right now.
All right, man.
Cheers. Sometimes it's all santé. Other times it's cheers and you fed for rose. And we also say salve, salute, gay skull. Now in Vietnam we can say yo. That's how Choey and Jandler cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Different languages, same sentiment. Raising our glasses to friendship and joy. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world. Cheers, cheers around the world.
I just want to say cheers to Germany, South Korea. We got Canada, England, Australia, Brazil, Barbados, Vietnam, Norway. Look, I should be looking at it because I'm missing some stuff here. It's supposed to help me out. Where were you on that one? Yeah. Colombia, the Philippines. I knew I missed a couple. So, cheers to them there. And then, like I was telling you earlier, man, that TikTok, which you got to see. And I want to do something like that every week or so as well. Speaking of, I'll talk to you after the episode to get some input on our next digital short. But I mean, I like putting that music out there with animated video with some of the songs I keep producing on Sunu. And but the first time we hit 1,800, man, the most TikToks likes or views we had seen was about 800. So we more than doubled it, man. So I felt really, really happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Maybe more people will listen to us now.
Tiki-talkies.
All right, you got your what's Chapin Joseph?
I do.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, so you take it away, and I'll edit it and lead it in. All right, go, sir.
Dude, so straight up, I don't know if you guys have started yet, and y'all's like testing window and stuff, but like we started this. Well, I don't even know. I know they started. Oh yeah, it was this week with Star Test.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not some anti-Star Test weirdo that's like, oh my god, the Star Test scars people, and you shouldn't. But like, it's also not like the second coming of Jesus kind of thing either. Everybody like gets their panties in a bunch, and they were doing it, and I was helping out this week with testing, and they're just like, well, what do we do about this? What do we do about that? And it's like, why do we have to give you like use your brain, man? Like the kid's computer turned off. Get him on another one, log him back in. Okay, I just want to make sure we can do that. I mean, like, thanks for letting us know, just in case. But it's like everything, dude. Like,
well, you know why they do that, though, right? Because it's like everything. They're worried about making a violation, and
Yeah, but it's like everything. Like, for the restroom, is it still like only one kid at a time can go in the restroom? Yeah, probably so. Oh, and I want to be like, dude, it's been like that since it was like TOS test. I'm sure it was like that for tax. It's like that for STAR. Like certain stuff just is not changing. It doesn't. It's not gonna be. Why would I freak out?
One of my teacher friends, first grade, she's got I know she's not happy. They're gonna help her test. Or she's gonna have to do like a testing small group. And so I talked to her for a couple days. I was talking to her today, and she's worried about it. And I was like, all you gotta do is remember. I was like, here's the best line you need to remember. I can't help you with that. Use what you've learned. Try your best, right? I was like, that's the one phrase you're gonna repeat so much. But if you do that, you're good. And she's like, well, how do I get them started or this? I was like, read the book. It's gonna tell you what to do.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the thing.
This is gonna tell you. I was like, I get you're stressed out, but I was like, you got this. I was like, you're a smart person. You can figure it out. I was like, you know, like I said, I just remember that phrase because that phrase was brilliant for me. You know, I'm sorry I can't help you with that. You know, try your best to use your strategies. You know, use what we've learned.
But my thing is just, like, it's so simple. Like, the hardest part for me for testing has always just been like the waiting. It's not the passing out the stuff. It's not the collecting the stuff. It's just waiting there, waiting for them to get done. But everyone's like, oh my God. And you're like, dude, like, you're going to have a heart attack right now, freaking out about testing. I'm like, calm.
Yeah. Chill out.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to cause me to panic because you're panicking. And I'm going to be like, they're freaking out. I should be panicking. I should be freaking out, shouldn't I? I guess I should. Like, let's all freak out. And it just kills me. Like,
I used to like when the district would show our training videos, and there was like, they're so cheesy because they get like teachers acting in them, like real teachers. It'd be hilarious. Like, you know, they tell you like, don't talk about what's on the test, and they showed a video of like 2 people are like in the teacher's lounge, and they're talking about, hey, did you see this? They're like they're discussing like a math question, and they got this other teacher like over on another table, just kind of like, you know, because she overhears them that they're like talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, I actually, I think a lot of it's my military stuff, but some of these things to me are just, I feel like are common sense because like, they're like, okay, don't talk about it. So I don't even try and look at the test question, you know, unless the kid needed me to like read the math question. I don't even like walk around and go like, oh, what's that question? Oh, what's that question? I'm just like, the only time I know what's going on is if I had to read it to some student, and then in my head as they're doing something, I can be like, yeah, they know what they're doing, or they don't know what they're doing. They're out of luck there, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, I can't do anything about it.
And that's the thing is, like, especially now with everything being online, you don't have to count out a lot of paper materials and stuff. Everything's pretty much just like, does the kid get headphones to test, or do they not? And that's it.
I think last year, the network went down for the district, and it's like, oh, that sucks, you know.
Well, but even with that, that does suck because like that's a lot of like extra crap to do with. But even with that, it's like, I mean, they can still log out. Like, that's the most amazing, crazy login system ever because it's like the kid will get kicked out, and they come back and log back in, and they're gonna go again. I'm like, all right, all good.
Yeah. So like, I know the same thing. We used to have to monitor the bathroom breaks and stuff, but now we're good. Hey, last thing I'm gonna do before we end up with our social media plug. So a little thing here. I think I've done it once or twice with you. I'm gonna do an Ask a Principal segment, right? So it's kind of a little short, right? But I was talking to my AP, and we were joking around, and so I was just like, hey, what do you think? Should we start a new program, you know, that maybe teaches kids like life skills, like sweeping with a broom, folding clothes, learning how to do, you know, real world type chores. She took some of my kids and they didn't even know how to hang up jackets, and she's like, what? You put the hanger in, man. It's not that tough. You ever see a kid use a broom? You seen Coming to America, right? When he uses the mop in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like these kids with their broom. They're like, they always want to sweep, but they don't know what they're doing. And I'm just like, whatever, go ahead and try it. But you know, in my head, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, my youngest one, he was like, this is how you use the broom, Dad. Because we were doing some work around the house. And I was like, here, sweep up this stuff for me. Well, I go do this. And he's like, okay. And I was like, go right here, do this. And he's like, I got it. And he gets it like as if he's like doing like shuffleboard. And I'm like, no. That's not how you use the broom at all. I'm like, you're going to jack it up. Stop it. And he's like, but it works. And I'm like, kind of, because it's like a new broom. I was like, not because like that's the way you're supposed to use it.
I was like, you're just spreading dirt everywhere, son.
And he was just like, you know, I was like, you're messing up the bristles.
Never thought you'd say that, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what's wrong with
Close
you?
the door. You're letting out all the AC.
I don't want to talk about stuff like that, man. I'm not doing that. I do that.
Who
I've
left
done that
the
for.
light? Who left
I'm
the
off.
lights on in this room?
I
Honest.
know. I go around. I'm like, I guess I'll turn them off. I guess we're gonna leave the window open because we're air conditioning the whole world. I guess we're gonna. I was like, shut the door. They're letting flies in.
So you're like freaking out. We should have like a stopwatch and you're like, it was open for 2 seconds, Dad. You're like, that's 2 seconds too long. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like all the crap that we heard when we were kids. And we're like, shut up. Now I'm the one doing it. Well, this house is filthy. Why is your underwear on the floor? Whose towel is this? I guess I'll put away the dishes. I ate off of them.
You're like, I wish I could eat off the floor like you kids. Maybe that's what we'll do. No silverware tonight. Let's just use our hands. Oh. I shake my head, and even I don't have to deal with that, you know.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's just funny. I get mad now. Like, I was your parent. I'm not. I tell people when they ask if I have any kids, I was like, yeah, I have the 20-some that I have at school every day, plus whoever else I see, right? But every day, like before we go to specials, which is kind of like halfway through the day, and at the end, I want to clean up the room. I know we got custodians, but I'm like, pick up your trash, guys. Like today, I don't know how many times somebody had eaten cookies for a snack. That wrapper was on the ground, and somebody had like a milk that they got from lunch, right, that they drank, and that was on the ground. And I must have said, I need somebody to pick up the cookie wrapper and the milk jug at least 5+ times, right? And I've done this, and it's just, we're talking about like how we sound like our parents, right? There's times I'm like, hey, pick that up off the floor, and kid will be like, it's not mine. I was like, I don't care. I was like, pick it up. I don't really cuss at all, just so you know. I just like, I don't care if it's yours or not, man. I was like, it's by you, pick it up. You know, we're not just gonna leave, because when we do clean up, I have 19 students now because some have moved. I got 2 to 3 that are always cleaning, and I'm like, and then I got about 5 or 6 that are just playing around. I'm like, I don't want these 2 kids to get everybody's mess. I was like, y'all need to start pulling your weight, people. You know? I'm like, pick this up. So I kind of know what you mean, man. Anyway, social media plug. So you can follow us at Choey N Jan, CHOEY, the letter N, JAN. We're on Facebook, X, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, MySpace, YouTube. And then, like I said, if you get bored and want to see here's some more hijinks from this guy right here. YouTube, usually every week we do the Bunker Report right now for San Antonio FC Soccer, which unfortunately lost last week, but we're hoping to bounce back this weekend, yeah. Get it going again, you know.
We're back on MySpace. You said for real?
We are on MySpace. We're logged into MySpace, I should say, right? We have an account on MySpace. I have still yet to figure out how to post anything on MySpace. That's the problem, right? And I'm like, so I got to figure that out. That's one of my many, to-do list things, coming up. Summer's not that far away. It's one of those things I hope to play around with, get that going. Get Flat Choey and Jandler, moving around the world to like extend our listeners, which is cool. I'm not looking forward to redoing the song though, but it'll be nice. When I listen I listen to a lot of the versions because I like some of the. I just been going on playing with stuff, right? And you could type in country or whatever, and hit generate.
Yeah.
with the words, and each time it generates, it's gonna be different. You know what I mean? And so sometimes they get some really cool ones, and so I started doing what I call like a fusion. Like some of the ones I sent you, I think this week, on Monday, I did country rap. I just kind of put them together, and I was just like, hey, what's it sound like? I did a country reggae that did not come out very well. I didn't like it, but I'm just like, hey, because I was trying to. I heard. I was listening to some Linkin Park this weekend, and so like I don't even know what, like I was looking them up. I don't know what they're considered, but I was like, they're like a mix of stuff. And so I was like, I'd love if I could get them to do like a Linkin Park type version, but I don't even know how to find that, because I can't just say do Linkin Park. It doesn't really get that,
But the country rap one sounded like a little bit like a little bit kind of Big and Rich, or Jason Aldean.
Yeah. But I use and that's the faster one. The one I used on our Instagram or the TikTok one was the slower one, right? Like they're both cool, but like I'm probably gonna do like a pop one or something like next time, just to kind of mix and match, and not do the same stuff all the time. I wanted to do piano, right? Because I thought maybe someone would play the piano and sing it, and it sounded like opera, and I was just like, I don't like this, Like, that didn't work out at all,
like Elton Johnish type thing.
See, I mean, now that I've aged, I like Elton John stuff, but like it didn't come. No, this came across as like opera, like somebody like singing like an opera singer, and I'm like, with some piano stuff in the background. I'm like, that's not what I wanted,
You're not quite that.
Yeah, I might look up like a Latin dance, get a little like salsa flavor going on. All right, Choey.
I hope everyone enjoyed that episode. Now, stay tuned, for further stuff. If you want to check us out on social media, we're at Choey and Jan, Choey, the letter N, Jan. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter. We're on Threads, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook as well, YouTube, all that jazz. So you want to check us out? That's where we'll be. We need to be, and actually, this weekend you'll be seeing a new digital short coming up. So that's out there. Just stay tuned and laugh along with us here at Choey and Jan. So thank you so much, people. Peace.